Hi, I'm Dr. Audra Alley. I'd like to take a minute to talk to you about regenerative medicine. Regenerative medicine is when we use stem cells from your own body to heal disease or damaged tissues. We all have stem cells in our body. We have embryonic stem cells at birth that help create organs. They essentially generate your entire body. But as adults, you also need stem cells. Our cells, we lose 10 million cells a day through disease or damage or trauma. The body needs to be able to replace all of these various cells so that you can continue to live and thrive. Well, we can harvest those cells and use them in targeted areas to replace damaged tissue. We collect those cells by collecting fat. The fat collection is through a surgical procedure. We send this sample of fat to a lab in California where they're able to process that fat and pull out just the stem cells. And then they present them back to me 24 hours later in the form of an injection. The injection can either be given into an affected joint if there's only one or two joints, or we can give it intravenously if there's multiple joints affected. And these stem cells can do a lot of really nice things for us. They reduce pain and inflammation almost immediately, but then they also hone in on the actual injury site and help regenerate and actually rebuild these tissues to make that joint healthier for future use. So how do dogs and cats benefit from a stem cell procedure? Well, there's lots of things that happen. Initially, right after the procedure, we have a rehabilitation period where we keep them quiet, and we have set exercises that we do that increase over time up to about 8 weeks postoperatively, where they're then allowed to exercise as much as they would like. And during that period, you see improvement almost immediately. The average time to an owner being able to visually see that their pet feels better is about 6 to 8 weeks, although some of them will feel better faster. During that period of time, those stem cells are actively reducing pain, they're reducing inflammation, they're getting in there and they're actually rebuilding some of those damaged tissues so that that joint is more functional. Right now, to date, there's been over 3,000 dogs that have been treated, and one of the nicest things about this treatment is there's a less than 1% complication rate. Those complications tend to be local complications, a little pain or swelling at the injection site, but because we're using the pet's own body to heal itself, you don't have the risk of rejection or complications from having some kind of a foreign substance injected. This is their own stem cells. One of the reasons that we work with the company that we do is they're very rigid in their controls for sterility. So we don't want to obviously put something into a joint that gives us a risk of infection. So we're very careful, and it is a surgical procedure so that we know that we're not creating infection. So these dogs go on to be very functional. There's an 80% improvement rate in these patients. There are a percent that we don't get a lot of response from, and I don't know if we have a good explanation for that yet, but we do have 80% of these dogs that improve significantly post-treatment. Somewhere around 33% of these dogs don't need their medications anymore, and most of the dogs undergoing treatment and cats come in having been on medications. They're non-steroidal drugs and pain medications and supplements, and we're just not getting the quality of life that we want, and that's frequently where we will turn to these stem cells. Interestingly, we have started using them in younger dogs to try to help prevent all the side effects that we experience with arthritis, the muscle atrophy and just that chronic lameness and discomfort. You know, we found that when we treat these dogs at a younger age, we can make them comfortable for longer periods of time. The company will also bank stem cells. So when we collect this fat from patients, we typically get millions and millions of stem cells. We don't need that many per injection. So anything they have left over, they store for us. So your pet goes through an initial procedure to collect the fat cells. They may never have to go through that again. If we need follow-up injections, we just call the company and have them ship us injections, and then we can treat without having to go through the surgery at the front end again. So I think sort of the take-home message with stem cells is it is the body healing itself. There's a very low complication rate, and we have had very good success with it in the patients that we have treated. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope I've been able to give you some useful information and some contact information to come in and see us, give us a call, check us out on the website. We would love to meet you and your pet anytime. Thank you.